so loud it's blasting through my ears. Headphones are exploding. Lebe Stark Radio, baby. That's how we do it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go! Grüezi miteinander. Gregory von Lebe Stark here. Guys, welcome to another podcast. In these editions, guys, if this is your first time on our channel, first time checking out our podcasts, in these sessions, we take a deep dive. Let's see if the technique is rolling. Give me a second. I have to see if everything is fine. And I think it is fine. So, yes. We take a deep dive, guys, into kettlebells, into tools for beginners. I think in these long formats, I get the chance to satisfy my addiction to talking. Guys, you have to imagine, somebody told me you have the gift of gab, and sometimes I keep talking like there's no end. And sometimes Angie even tells me that. She says, "Boy, shut up and give me a second of peace." So that's what's up. So first of all, I have to satisfy my addiction to talking. And second of all, we talk about the kettlebell in detail because this format allows me to dive even deeper into the topic of kettlebells. And the content that we do, we have these awesome videos which are doing incredibly well. We have a lot of subscribers who are flocking to our channel through the content, through the kettlebell content. Then that's one part of the Lebe Stark YouTube channel. The second part is the live workouts, which some of you probably have already joined or maybe checked them out or did a workout. And this is the way how we can serve our YouTube channel best, because we always work out. And one of our kettlebell club members recently said, Alexia, she said, "You guys are so constant. You're always constantly working out." And this is my 11th year of training. And I've been rocking with the kettlebell a solid 1.5 years now. Because I can say June 2019, when Steve visited us, was the pivotal moment. And then COVID actually, we want to talk about it a little bit. COVID actually brought the kettlebell to my utmost attention. And I was so glad that 6 months before COVID hit, when we had to close the gym, and then that's when we started our first live sessions. We actually streamed multiple times, but in the beginning of last year, March, February, when the whole thing started, we focused on kettlebells way more. And you got to check out the workouts. I think it starts at, I don't know, number 10 or number 11, because the previous workouts were some live workouts that we tried and we did and we thought it was cool. And then we took it seriously through the COVID pandemic. And check out how my and Angie's technique has improved over 1 year only. And I believe in working out constantly. I believe in putting out those reps and going all in. And this is how you master those lifts, guys. This is how you get better at it. This is how you really improve technique, by just working. And then we stopped because everything came back to normal during the summer. And then it went back to crazy again all over the world in autumn and winter 2020. And then we took a deep dive again into kettlebell live workouts. And now we are trying to figure out, guys, how to make it a part of the channel, how to make it a part of our daily routine. Because now you have to imagine I have a daily routine with our coachings, but I also am limited in the evenings, and this is where people work out the most. And that's the reason why we're streaming now, because we have to close at 7. And so we're trying to figure out a way how to implement the YouTube channel and the live workouts into our daily routine. So that's the second part. So we have kettlebell content, you got the live workouts, and then these podcasts, they're not as often because sometimes I think I don't have enough stuff to talk about, but we get a lot of traction on the YouTube channel. We get a lot of comments, and we get a lot of feedback, and some stuff that always floats through my mind that I want to talk about. This is what this format is for. And it's also, like I said, taking the deep dive into the kettlebells, but also getting to know us. If you're interested in who we are, what we do, if you're interested in the person behind Lebe Stock. And I have to really convince Angie to join me in one of these sessions, because Angie always thinks my English is so bad, even though her English just really improved. And that's another thing. When we switch to English, I just had this conversation with a potential client today. I said, when we switch to English, the YouTube channel really explodes. And I was able to compare with some big channels. When you look at the YouTube landscape, you have, for example, you have Caveman Training. This is Taco Fleur. I think he's at 50,000 subscribers. Then you have Swing This Kettlebell in Strength. This is Joe. I can't remember his last name. He's around 30,000, I think. Then you have Chandler Marchman. He's at around 80,000, 90,000. And then you have Mark Wildman. He's the leader of the pack right now with over 100,000 subscribers. And I've compared our stats with these channels. And come to find out, you don't have to have a large following to make an impact for the YouTube algorithm, because compared to these other channels, we were able to really, really manage the views and the subscribers at a very high rate. So in direct comparison, you can even say that we sometimes even did better than those bigger channels. And this is a competitive field, of course, and I don't know them personally, but just to see the comparison is so interesting. And when it comes to, business and building stuff and doing what I do, being a coach and helping people, this is where I get the competitive vibe from. Somebody recently asked me, he said, are you thinking about competing in a kettlebell sports event? And I said, probably not. Even though maybe I was playing with the thought a little bit, but the amount of time that you have to invest as an athlete, because I don't want to be in the midfield. If I want to compete, I want to go straight for the gold medal because I know myself. But you have to invest so much time, so much passion into the sportsmanship of being an athlete. And this is where I found out, actually, I believe I don't have that competition vibe. I have the competition vibe, but I'm not, how can I say this? I'm not as maybe interested in trading my time that I have for a championship to compete with other folks where and this is an incentive where you're not even getting paid. I've worked really, really hard to be worth my time. This sounds no, it doesn't sound arrogant. I think I've increased my value as a coach in the last 5 years since I've opened up Lebe Stock, since I've started. And my time is valued because the only thing that you don't get back in life is your time. So whatever you choose to invest your time in, it either has to be a passion, or it has to be something that pays off, right? But I'm digressing a little bit. So guys, we have a lot of ground to cover, but I'm really, 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 really loving these sessions, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's see who is rocking already. We have about 26 people in the chat. Whoa, that's cool. And folks are saying hello. Wow, that's cool. And as you can see, now we've opened up the chat for everybody to have fun and ask questions. And I'm going to take a look at the chat once in a while, but I have some stuff that I want to cover. So guys, let's dive straight into it. But before we get started, have a word from our sponsor. Is of no importance to you. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training. You heard what he said. This is Yuri Boyka's brother. Somebody even asked that question, guys. We had this, you know, because maybe some of you found this channel through the Russian video that we did, where it's Enter the Kettlebell in 10 minutes, inspired by Pavel, Tsatsouline. And this is where the English, this Russian dude came up, right? The Russian alter ego. And then somebody asked the question, hey, brother, you look like Yuri Boyka. You guys know Yuri Boyka? The guy's a legend. And he's not real. Scott Adkins is the actor who plays Yuri Boyka. But Yuri Boyka is a legend. And then I thought, okay, now this alter ego that's rocking on this channel, this Russian guy that's also on Lebe, I think he recently told me that, I asked him, are you the brother of Yuri Boyka? Because people keep asking you whether you are the brother or not. And he said he's not going to tell me. But he just recently kicked out another video. If you check out the channel, our Russian friend. All right, guys. So what we want to talk about first is the Kettlebell Club. Now, we've diversified our coaching business to the point where we're able to offer something that is very cost effective and gets you a lot, guys, really. And this is the Kettlebell Club. Now, you can see, if you check the link in the description, this is where you can join the Kettlebell Club. Now, what is the Kettlebell Club? Now, first of all, if you decide to become a member, it costs you $5.95 Swiss francs per month. That's about, what is this? About $6 to $7 and about €5 per month. So what, you're getting some benefits here. Now, first of all, you get these awesome emojis, and you see there's already some Lebe members. Hey, Kettlebell Club, please show the chat some love and type some funny, our classic emojis in the chat. That's the one thing that you're getting, these classic emojis. You got Angie, you got the Grüezi miteinander. This is the formal greeting in Switzerland. And you got myself, you got the LS Kettlebell, you got Gypsy saying let's go. So that's what you're getting. But we've amped it up a little bit. The second thing that you're getting is, as you can see when you check out the live chat, you see our crew, you see the Kettlebell Club rocking with the LS logo right next to their name. That's what you're getting. And that means folks will see that you are a part of the club. That's the tribalism feeling. You belong to the Lebe tribe. And we've even amped it up now. You are getting access to our private Facebook group. We're now really amping stuff up, and I think it's about 35 members, as you can see in the club. And this is where we gather everything, because you have to imagine our main business is personal training, one-to-one coaching. And our second business is where we started with online kettlebell courses. This is the Lebe Academy, where you can buy a course. Some of you have probably seen it, and some of you maybe bought it. It's the 30 Days of Kettlebells workout course. It's a very awesome e-learning platform where you can dive in, buy the course, and then do it online. Lifetime access. So that's another, those are other folks that are coming from that side. And now we got the Kettlebell Club. So we are combining the whole Lebe tribe in this private Facebook group. That's what you're getting if you become a member of the club. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel and like the video, if you're into kettlebells, you have to like the video. You heard Yuri Boyka's brother. He's saying, man, you gotta like it. And about the Q&A, guys, I'm gonna check out what's happening in the chat. I got the chat right in front of me, and sometimes I'm gonna jump back in. But please be patient. If you have a question, just ask it, shoot it off, and then when I take a look at the Q&A at the live chat, I want to answer your question. Now, first things first. Here we go. Why do I want to mention this? I want to mention this because recently I forgot his name, but somebody, what was a comedian? I think it was a comedian. he was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he said something that really resonated with me. He said, we have to now stick together, guys, and help each other out. Give each other some love, because now with all the social distancing in place, and everybody, we're pushed away from each other, and we as human beings, we are social beings. We like to connect with each other. And what really resonated was that he said I think he was talking about suicide and how he was able to cope with it and manage it, and that's the reason why he said it's so important to talk to each other. It's so important to share love, to give love. Now, what I want to say, and maybe this is something that we've experienced now, and maybe this can help you. And maybe this shines a light for you. Because when you look at the media, when you look at the world right now, it always looks like it's burning. And I recently talked to my mother on the phone, and I told her, you know what I've learned now? It's not about just being aware of your finances, or being aware of your body, or being aware of your spirit, or being aware of your surroundings and relationships, or being aware of your nutrition, because awareness changes a lot. I'm also aware of how my feelings influence me. So I was watching 2 articles. I read 2 articles about COVID, and I felt how fear was creeping inside of me. I'm telling you this. I can tell you how it felt. I was reading the article, and it was 2 doomsday articles, guys, about the mutation and everything. And so fear crept in, and I switched it off. I turned off the phone, because I've realized fear is now taking a place in my heart, making me feel uncomfortable. Maybe blocking my creativity, blocking stuff, blocking other things, making me feel like, what is it worth to even invest into whatever I'm doing right now? So I had to stop. All right. So being aware of your feelings is something that is very strong. I don't always get it, but it's also something that I've read a book about. It's called Crucial Conversations. I highly recommend you check out this book, Crucial Conversations. It's about learning how to communicate when things get heated, or when things are getting tough, or when delicate matters are being talked about. And this book really helps you to manage your emotions, because when you have a crucial conversation and your emotions pop up, whatever it is, fear, anger, or whatever, we turn into fight or flight mode. And then what turns off? Rational thinking. It's a very great book. Please check it out. So now, January 21, guys, please, this is not about boasting. I'm not trying to tell you how good we are, how crazy we are, or that we're the most successful. I'm trying to shine a light on this to make you really aware of the fact that no matter what happens in life or what crisis is going down, you can always see a way out, or see a light at the end of the tunnel. Check this out. January 21 was the strongest month since the beginning of Lebe in February, it's a German word, February 2016. I'll read that again. January 21 was, for our business, for Lebe was the strongest month, revenue-wise, since the beginning of Lebe in February 2016. And what I want to talk about briefly is how to be productive in a crisis. Now, I want to touch on this briefly. How did we manage this? I did some outdoor marketing, these huge billboards, and we always do them twice a year. And I was so scared because it looked like everything is crashing now that the second wave hit Switzerland. So I thought, I don't know if it's a good investment into investing into billboards when everything's shutting down. But you know what I thought? I said, no, I'm going to invest into marketing. I'm going to invest into the billboards, because I want to let people know that no matter what crisis is happening right now, we're still here. All right? So that's one of the decisions that I took. And it cost me a lot. The billboards cost me a lot. But let me tell you, we made back the money. I'm not joking. We made back the money about tenfold the time that I've invested. I've invested one sum. I got back 10 times the amount that I've invested. And it's not only the billboards. It's other stuff as well. It's the YouTube channel, the growth of the YouTube channel. How when the Swiss government decided to shut it all down, I told Angie, okay, now streaming every day. Streaming every day, bro. That's what's up. 7 p.m. Central Eastern Standard Time. Streaming every day. Doing podcasts once a week. Shooting out. I think I did like over 60 videos in December. And January is like 50 videos. I went nuts because I said, okay, if I have time, I'm going to invest it into something else. And you have a real life example now as well, which we're going to talk about in a minute. I know it's not kettlebell related right now, guys, but please bear with me. I maybe some of you need to hear this. I need to hear this. Sometimes good stories, I want to hear them too. And then I don't have to feel strange talking to myself. At least I'm talking to you guys. So what I want to talk about is how can we be productive in a crisis? Now, before we want to dive into this, I think something is happening in the fitness industry, and I think that's very interesting. What is happening is a so-called disruption, and that's what a lot of experts are saying. And the kettlebell really helps us, and I think it's even a tool that is pushing these two aspects. Now, first of all, what is happening is a disruption of the fitness industry. The fitness industry is now learning, okay, we cannot do it the way we used to do it. Having just some space rented, putting some machines in there, having folks go in January, making the most money in January so that we're fine for the whole year. It's a very interesting statistic that some gyms only survive because they make the money in January. And then we let them run wild, don't give them no coaching, even go down with coaching and pull it back and just let people do whatever they want. And most of them quit. 70% quit after 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now they're realizing, oops, this is not working anymore because we have to shut down. And what is also happening, I don't know, maybe some of you guys heard this story of the Reddit story on Wall Street, how Reddit users really slapped a billionaire hedge fund into the face by gathering like an army and buying stocks from GameStop. It's a very crazy story. And one guy who really, I think Sagar is his name, and I got this from the Joe Rogan podcast. He said he thinks there is a decentralization happening in the investment realm. And I think this is also happening in the fitness industry because people are now realizing I can do stuff at home and I don't need to go to the gym. I can stay fit with one of the greatest tools of all time, and that is the kettlebell. And the kettlebell experienced a surge in 2020, which is crazy. So this decentralization is happening that people are realizing I can stay at home. I don't need to go any place, but I need to know how to work out at home. So how am I getting that information? From a coach. So I think everything is shifting, and even experts are saying this. It is shifting from the big chain fitness gyms, letting people run wild, not caring about coaching, to smaller circles, smaller areas where a coach who really loves what he does and is passionate about what he does can help folks not only be successful when they visit the studio, but be successful when they go home. And I can't even tell you how many folks came back now. We always have, you always have folks who leave, and that's the idea of a personal coach. My idea is to prepare you as good as possible so that you don't need me anymore because you invest a lot of money with a personal coach. And now we have a lot of people coming back because they're still connected to us through different means. So this disruption is happening, decentralization is happening, and I decided to position myself in that realm, and now the success is showing me that it was the right way to do it. Now, how can you be productive in a crisis, and how can you even get, because we're not going to want to go into the details of the business aspect, but what I want to tell you is how can you really be productive when the world seems like it's burning, or it doesn't even have to be as bad as right now. I think one of the main reasons, or one of the main things that you can do to really, really, really be productive in any situation is to guard your ears and eyes. I got this from the Bible. Guys, it is so important. What you see and what you hear affects how you feel. So these are the gates. All right, these two gates, and the Bible says you have to put a guardian in front of those gates, eyes and ears. So it goes into your heart, and the Bible also says what the heart is full of, the mouth speaks. So stuff comes in here, and then it leaves here. All right. So watch what you're seeing and who you're listening to. Number 2 is understand the times that we're living in. Just because it's a crisis doesn't mean that there are not possibilities. There are a lot of possibilities. Like I mentioned before, a lot of experts are saying this, that it's shifting. It's a pivotal moment in history, maybe, and it's shifting. There is a paradigm shift going on. Now, the third thing that I got this from a book from Jonathan Goodman from the PTDC. We're going to take a course from these guys. They're so awesome. The PTDC from Jonathan Goodman, in the book, he says, marketing experts are telling you, you don't have to improve all the time. You just have to be innovative. Innovation. Now, when we look at the kettlebell, guys, these 6 benefits that we always talk about. Benefit number 1, it builds muscle. Benefit number 2, it helps you burn fat. Benefit number 3, it fights against it. It really helps you when it comes to back pain. Benefit number 4, you do something for your coordination. Benefit number 5, you do something for your heart, cardiovascular health. And number 6, you have your own gym. That's real. That always existed. But we pushed that in our marketing material. And Jonathan Goodman was talking about it when he said, it's crazy how bulletproof coffee. I'm actually now realizing how it turned into a business talk. I hope, guys, I'm not boring you, but I think it's interesting. At least I love talking about it. We're going to get into the kettlebell stuff later on. And kettlebells are now, you see, I'm talking about kettlebells, but from a different perspective. Now, he said the bulletproof coffee, they used a very interesting marketing aspect that always existed, but nobody ever mentioned it. And they said, the coffee that we produce is, we make sure it's getting rid of toxins. And every coffee producer does it, but nobody mentions it. You see? So innovation is what it is. Now, and folks always tell me this when they see how we do it. They always say, hey, you guys are positive. Think positive. Well, I put it differently. I say, be realistically positive. Okay? Don't walk around thinking that everything's beautiful when everything's crashing. But don't destroy yourself when everything's crashing. Like I said, there's always chances. But be realistically positive. Don't walk around like a zombie saying everything is good when everything is bad. But don't walk around like a zombie either saying everything is bad because the world is in dire straits right now. Hey, Pamela! Jay Alexander, she just joined the Kettlebell Club. Give her a warm welcome. Hey, Pamela! Thank you for joining. So awesome. And now the last point is you want to serve an awesome product. And that's, when I'm talking about from a self-employed perspective of you talking about a coach. So the product that we give you is kettlebells, the coaching. And listen, I don't have to be the best athlete, but I want to be the best coach, guys. I want to teach the kettlebell to even the utmost beginners. This is what we focused on. Teaching we had one of our clients. She's 70 plus years old, and we started with the swing. We had some foundational work done, and now we started with the kettlebell swing, and it was awesome. And she really digged it because, when we talk about the exercises, we talk about it like from a scientific point of view because I believe it's all science. We have even one of our members who, I think he's not a member, he's a subscriber. And he said he studied physics. So he was talking about some stuff about the kettlebell when it comes to physics, which is so interesting. And this is where it all comes together. Combining the physics, combining the ballistics, combining momentum, combining biomechanics. This is just pure science, and it's awesome. So that's our product. And even if you're not self-employed, if you are, if you're working at a firm or you are employed by somebody else, serve an awesome work mentality. Because guys, it's not about. Listen, I used to think that you have to educate yourself, serve that paper. Hey, I did it, and then you get paid. Or you get paid better. This is what I used to think. Now I realize it's not about that sheet of paper. It's not about what it's signed. It's not about the diploma. It's about the knowledge that you get from that education that you bring to the table, and your business understands, ooh, now you're giving us some real value. Ooh, we got to make sure that this guy or this gal stays. Wonder what we got to talk about when it comes to the next finance and when it comes to financing. All right. So this is how you upgrade your value. All right. Now, we got some videos coming up for you guys just that you are informed. Maybe there's something for you, some awesome content. We're going to talk about the floor press. We've incorporated the kettlebell floor press in a recent video, in a recent live workout, and it was so cool. I actually found out that there's some biomechanics involved in the floor press that makes it stand out, that makes it really unique when you do it with the kettlebell in comparison to dumbbells or even barbells. We're going to talk about this, some biomechanical benefits when you do a floor press with a kettlebell. Then guys, this is going to be a great one, and please let me know in the chat which one of these videos are you looking forward the most when I'm talking about it, because this gives me a sense what has priority. Now, floor press, we're going to talk about this in the future content, in future video content. And now the second thing that I'm going to talk about is a 3-hour workout by Denis Vasilev. Denis Vasilev, for those guys who don't know it, he is a pure machine. He's an 8-time world champion in kettlebell lifting, and he is a machine. This dude is a monster, and he loses about 3 pounds per workout. I'm not joking. He says that himself. He loses 3 pounds of weight. This is probably mostly water, but he loses weight after working out for 3 hours. And what he does, guys, some of his warm-up is what we do as a full workout. You gotta see this. I was going through it. I saw this on Instagram, and I watched it, and I really studied it, and I was like, this dude is doing crazy stuff. But please be aware of the fact he's an athlete. He's also human. So the question, and we're gonna talk about it in this video, the question is this healthy? This is actually a good question. Now, the third video that's coming up is internal and external rotation of the shoulder. We're going to take a look at it when it comes to pressing. There is a best way to press the kettlebell, in my opinion, when you look at it from a biomechanical view. Now, the third thing, the fourth thing that we're going to talk about is the kettlebell clean, teaching the kettlebell clean, but not just on a surface level. We're going to take a deep dive, because most folks are asking that question, what do I do against the bruises? So I clean the kettlebell and it hurts. What's up? How can I avoid it, or how can I go through that phase? And the last one is 11 ways to train with kettlebells, or 11 ways to use the kettlebell, because we think there are 11 exercises, guys, that are basics, these are the best exercises that you can do with kettlebells. Like I said in one of our videos, there is a plethora of exercises that you can do with the kettlebell when you check out Instagram and YouTube. But we believe there are 11 exercises that are the best. If you incorporate these 11 exercises throughout the whole year, you're fine. You don't have to do fancy stuff. Now let's jump into the meat. I'm already streaming for almost 40 minutes. Crazy. You see how I love to talk? But let's check out. We always got some questions from YouTube. Now we're gonna jump through these questions, and then we're gonna jump into the Q&A. Now we got the question, are you guys doing a follow along exercise video every day? Well, now we're actually doing it almost every day. This is the current workout schedule for you guys who want to write it down. We are live streaming at least now in February. This is maybe this is going, well, not as maybe, it is going to change when we get back to working as usual. But we're streaming Monday, that's the German word. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 19 p.m. or 7 p.m. Central Eastern Standard Time. And when you check out the channel right now, you see all the live workouts. They're lined up. So my new idea is every Monday, you have to check out our YouTube channel somewhere in afternoon, and then you see all the workouts lined up. You can click the reminder and join us. And Saturday is also 12 p.m. Central Eastern Standard Time. All right? And the exclusive stuff, just for you guys to mention, because somebody said this. Somebody took it the wrong way, which I think is sad, that we're now offering the live chat for Kettlebell Club members only. You can watch all YouTube workouts for free on our YouTube channel. However, if you want to comment, except on the podcast, if you want to comment on these live workouts, you have to join the Kettlebell Club. It's club members exclusively, the live chat, right? Now, the faith in the 11 basics of kettlebell training, I touched on it briefly. But the reason why I mention it here is you will see in these workouts, you will see the same exercises come up again, and again. Now, you maybe ask yourself, okay, and you maybe have done these workouts. There are some workouts and some protocols where you do like 15 exercises in one bout. 20 seconds a piece, or 1 minute a piece, or 30 seconds a piece, or even, what's that called in English? Gänsefüßchen? Can't remember it right now. Quotes, put it in quotes. Even worse, using reps. We believe 4-time is the best method, and we got an awesome comment. Somebody said, wow, when you use the 4-time method, you get into the flow much easier. You don't have to think about anything, and I can even work on a technique. That's what we always say. 4-time, we believe, is the best way to do it, not counting reps. So you have a crazy protocol, which will lead, I guarantee you, which will lead to the fact that it will confuse you. I don't care if you're a beginner or a pro. If the protocol is complicated, it will confuse you. And this is actually probably one of the reasons why CrossFit decided, hey, these workouts of the days, even though I don't think that's a good idea, okay? I think there's good stuff from CrossFit, and I think there's some bad stuff about CrossFit. If you do workouts of the day for everybody, you can say, okay, medication for the day for everybody. Well, I have a back pain. Well, I have headaches. I don't care. You get something for your stomach, because that's medication of the day, all right? So I don't believe in workout of the day for everybody. But what I understand now is they've shrunk it down to about 2 or 3 exercises. That's it. And I think there are some WODs which are more complicated. I'm not as familiar with them, but I see some of them which are very short and very easy to follow. So I understand it now. And even when you take a look at what Pavel is saying with simple and sinister workouts, keeping it easy, keeping it short, not necessarily very short, but keeping it easy for you to remember, simple and sinister, that works the best. And that's why we believe that the basics is all you need. You can do fancy stuff. You can do fancy exercises. And always remember this, guys. You will see exercises on Instagram and on YouTube for the sole purpose of getting views and clicks. Just to put this one out there. I think some people are doing exercises that they don't do on a regular basis, or that they don't incorporate in their workout. It's just for views and clicks. And we, in our live workouts, we don't do that stuff. On Monday, for example, it's always swing, clean, and jerk snatch. Swing, clean, and jerk snatch. And I thought about sometimes we maybe choose to change something. Recently I had a great idea which we're going to incorporate in probably one of our live workouts. But it's always, it doesn't have to be crazy. And the more complicated it gets, the more it will confuse you and you don't get into the flow. Listen, the cool thing about the kettlebell is the ballistic aspect of kettlebell training. The ballistic momentum is what makes it separate from anything else. When you see it, difference between kettlebells and dumbbells, most of the time, all of the articles that I've read, and I'm not saying I've read all of them, but most that I've read, and maybe there's some of them who are pointing this out, but what I mostly don't see is the biggest difference, the biggest differentiating fact between kettlebells and dumbbells and barbells is the ballistic element. Of course, you can do ballistics with dumbbells as well. You can do ballistics with the barbell as well, but you won't be able to work as long for time without burning your arms and your forearms as with the kettlebell. With the kettlebell, you can work for such a long time in such a special way that you can't with barbells and dumbbells, because it's ballistics, your arms don't get burned, and you're able to rack and rest the kettlebell much better than you can rack or rest a dumbbell or a barbell for that matter. Just for you to understand it, try to do a simple, let's say a simple kettlebell workout. Press, squat, deadlift. All right. Do this with 2 dumbbells. You're doing a press, you're doing a squat where you can rack the dumbbells up here, and when you do a deadlift, maybe you do a Romanian deadlift because you don't touch the floor, right? And you do it with the 6-minute version that we do it, right? 2 minutes per exercise, everything unbroken, then you get 1 minute of rest, then you do 3 to 4 rounds, right? I guarantee you, the first thing that will burn out is your arms or your forearms, because you always have to grip the kettlebell like this, right? Gripping it like this with your full crush grip means that your flexors will do most work. They are pretty strong, don't get me wrong, but they can't last very long. Wow, they are pretty strong, don't get me wrong, but they don't last very long. That's what's up, man. MC Lipstock in the building, yo. I actually was a rapper. That's where I got it from. And racking the kettlebell is different. When you use a finger grip, you use your extensors, which are not as strong, but they can last very long. And you use a hook grip where you rack the kettlebell up in here, down your palm, and rack and rest it on the iliac crest of your hip so you can rest. It's just total, it's completely different. This is what the biggest differentiating factor. And almost nobody talks about this. What's the difference between dumbbells and kettlebells? The ballistic element. The ballistic momentum that you're getting with the kettlebell, and the flow and the vibe and the longevity of the workout and the unbrokenness of the workout that you won't get with dumbbells or barbells, right? I've digressed a little bit. But what I want to say is it's all about the basics, guys. So, and that's what Steve Carter told me. That's one of the statements that stuck with me. He said a lot, and I got a lot of him on tape, and I always roll through these tapes, and he said so many good things. I can't even fathom, and I can't even say how blessed I was that I was able to pay him the amount of money that he wanted to have him fly out to our gym. It was a pure blessing. Well, I worked hard for it. Don't get me wrong. I worked hard for it, but I still consider myself blessed to have been able to work with a legend that is Steve Carter. So what he said is, listen, Gregory, get down pat the basics. If you get them down pat, if you understand the basics and you master them, swing, clean and jerk, snatch, squat, lunge, strict press, Turkish get up, windmill, deadlift, rows, just that easy stuff, right? No, it's not even that easy. It's just the basics. That's the foundation of kettlebell training. Then everything else is easily manageable. That doesn't mean that you have to do all exercises. And this is something that we also, man, I see. It's been 2 weeks since I've done a podcast, so I have so much stuff to talk about. That's why I can't stop talking about only one facet of training or of our stream. But I hope it's entertaining. I hope it's educating for you guys. And like I said, I always talk about it because when I hear it again. It's stored in my brain. So it's just the fundamentals, and following the fundamental aspects of kettlebell training is the most important thing about training with kettlebells. And when you look at the Russians, take a look at how the Russians do it. The Russians, how they press, how they jerk, their arms, it looks so crazy. And you know what's in there? When you see a guy or a gal rocking a solid technique, you know what's in there? Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of reps. The right information combined with hard work, that's mastery. That's what gets you to master these exercises. don't need that fancy stuff. And like I said, you can do fancy stuff, but it doesn't mean that you have to do it. And now I remember what I wanted to say. Somebody recently, for example, said in a blog post, which I think was very interesting. He said, we can't classify the burpee as a bad exercise. Why are people saying that the burpee is a bad exercise? Because if you do it wrong, then everything is a bad exercise. If you do the squat wrong, it's a bad exercise for you as well. I agree to some point. However, doing a burpee where you put your whole body down to the floor, and I saw and experienced what happened to some clients. Some people jumped down to the burpee and they got their fingers stretched out like this. Some client had their thumb not broken, but really stretched where it hurt so bad that she had to stop the training. Then some folks drop down to the floor and boom, really drop. They drop like a bag. Boom! Because they don't understand that you have to first touch the floor with your hands, then jump back, then go down to the floor and go back up. And Freeletics is one of the apps that made the burpee so popular, but if you don't understand how the burpee works, it can be dangerous. And here's the fact. The burpee can be more detrimental to your health or to how you work out, or maybe have an injury risk that is higher than the squat. An air squat where you just go down and you maybe don't do it the perfect way with no weight, no problem. But the burpee can be tricky. Now let's jump into another question that we got. Any suggestions for an alternative exercise for the lunge? And he mentioned side lunges. Now, side lunges is where you grab the kettlebell. Doesn't matter how, you can catch it in a rack rest position, even though a rack rest position would be very, very tough. You grab the kettlebell in the goblet position like this, all right? And then you step out, all right? You get what I'm doing? You step out to the side, doesn't matter, just you step out laterally on one leg, and then you go into a lunge, so that means the leg that is outside, that is laterally placed, that knee is bending, and that other leg is extending, all right? That's a side lunge. And what I said is I wouldn't recommend a side lunge. Is it a bad exercise? No, it's not a bad exercise. But from experience, I can tell you, most people are tight in their hips, especially in their adductors, ADD, right? Sometimes I'm confusing the two. In their ADD ductors, all right? Not in their abductors, all right? Their adductors are tight, so when they go into the side lunge, maybe it can overstretch or maybe it can hurt. And then you have some additional weight, and then you look at how these crazy folks on Instagram and YouTube do it, how they go down pretty low, and then you think, oh, I gotta do the side lunge as low as this person on Instagram, and boom, something snaps or something hurts or something, I don't know what. So that's the reason why it's just experience when you work with people, and most of them are tight. I'm always talking from a beginner's perspective. Because like I'm always mentioning this, that's what we focused on. And most people who are asking these questions are somewhat beginners with kettlebells. All right? So that's the reason why I wouldn't recommend a side lunge. If you're looking for an alternative exercise for the lunge, do a squat. That's it. Because the lunge just isolates the leg. You can do a squat. Now, this is always the question that we're getting when people are watching what we do. The training style that we use for kettlebell training is the Russian style, okay? It's the good boy sport. It's kettlebell lifting. The kettlebell sport style differs vastly from the hard style or from the style that you mostly see on social or whatever. So it's not leaning back. It's not about leaning back. And I'm going to show you this. We've talked about this for many times, and I'm going to have to show you this, so give me a second. So now you're seeing it, right? This is a rack rest position, guys. So what I'm doing right now is I'm racking my elbow. Right? You see the elbow, so the weight is in the rack rest position, so it's in the hand insertion. That's what you don't see from this view. But my elbow right here makes contact with the bony structure on my hip. That's called the iliac crest. Auf Deutsch das Darmbeinkamm der Hüfte. okay? The iliac crest of the hip, this bony structure that you maybe feel when you really put your fingers down to your hip and press it in, that's the bony structure, that's the iliac crest. This is where the elbow rests. And in one of those old school videos from Pavel, they call it scooping. And I think one of his proteges there, he says, it's too easy. And that's a joke, brother. That's not easy, man. That's not easy. You grab 220s. I'm telling you, you grab 220s. You rack rest the kettlebell up there and you do it wrong. And in that old school video from Pavel, his protege even does it wrong. Because if you look at the way I do it, my upper back right here, you see that? My upper back is relaxed, all right? So I'm not standing like this. I'm relaxed. My upper body is relaxed. This is my natural, listen, important. This is the natural kyphosis of my spine. That's natural. That's not a problem. Now I'm shifting the whole weight here. You see that? The kettlebell rests right on my hip because the weight goes down, gravitation pulls down everything in a straight line. So the weight is almost, you can say, yeah, it's on the middle portion of my foot. This is the, I always forget that word, the center of mass, all right? It's right in the center of mass, and the weight rests on my hip, therefore bypassing my lower back. No problem here. All right, but it has to make sure that the kettlebell makes contact, the elbow makes contact with the hip. And what is also important is to straighten your legs. That's the reason why when I'm jerking, doesn't matter if I use 1 or 2 kettlebells. You know where I get tired? Here. My quads are burning because I'm using muscles to really to push my pelvis, tilt my pelvis forward and really straighten. I have to really straighten my legs because if I start bending the knees, then I'm leaning forward and then the kettlebell goes down. Maybe the weight's more up and the kettlebell goes down here behind my knee. And this can be tricky for the lower back. Always make sure that when you rack rest the kettlebell that the weight pulls down in front of your knee. This bypasses the lower back. But when you get tired, you start bending the knees in the rack rest position, and that can be tricky. And I did this in all the videos because I didn't know better. So it's not leaning back, it's rack resting the kettlebell. So you can breathe. And we talked about this aspect of kettlebell training, right? The ballistic element. You rack the kettlebell like this, you can work for a very long time. And now, one very more important thing, when we even go further, we brush on it on the surface. When I'm now going into an overhead top fixation, pressing the kettlebell overhead, I'm using you have to imagine my legs are like a spring. They're loaded. They're on fire. So now I'm using a dip, going into a small dip, and then bump, really using the whole force of my legs. And that whole force catapults the kettlebell, connects with my arm and pushes the kettlebell up, right? It's a push press or either a jerk. Using the power, force, that spring mechanism from I love this, the spring mechanism. I got to remember this, spring mechanism. Wait a second. Got to write this down. It's like a spring mechanism. Spring. All right, because it's actually what you're doing. If you tense your quads and your legs like this, there is a spring mechanism. Because tensing your muscles and then releasing that energy, boom, it's elastic energy that happens. It could also be a little bit of a stretch reflex from the quads. Yes, there could be a small stretch reflex from the quads, but it's the spring mechanism loading the glutes, loading your legs, and then boom, catapulting the kettlebell into the overhead top fixation. That's the reason why I'm able to press a 32 kilogram. I can't press it strictly. 28 is the limit. No strict press with the 32. Maybe if I'm really, really warmed up and haven't done any work before, maybe I'm able to do 1 or 2 reps. But with the power of my legs, I'm able to transport the weight up. And I went nuts yesterday. I went nuts with the snatch. I just showed you this, man. I went nuts with the snatch. So, let's jump back. Where we at? Boom. I hope you guys are learning something. We still got 26 people in the chat. So awesome. Oh my God. The live chat's crazy. You folks are going crazy. Wow. Man, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a 2-hour stream or what? Hey, you guys want me to stream for 2 hours or what? Love you guys. Thank you so much for joining, man. Still 26 people in the chat. So that maybe explains why do you lean back so much? It's not leaning back. It's rack resting the kettlebell on the iliac crest of the hip so I can rest. Now, there's another question that we got. And the question is, we've posted a video about weight progression. So always people ask, hey, I'm having, for example, a 12 kilogram or a 16. Choose whatever weight you want. Now, when is the time to upgrade? And I'm now talking from the perspective of the ballistic movements. The swing, the clean and jerk, and the snatch. These three. And in this video, I said, you can upgrade safely to the next, for example, from the 12 to the 16 or from the 16 to the 20. Upgrade when you can do 5 minutes of swings. 5 minutes of clean and jerks per side, without switching arms, per side. And 5 minutes of snatches per side. If you manage, and that would be, you don't have to do them all at once, even though you can. Sometimes it's my workout. I do 5 minutes of swings, unbroken with 10 minutes of clean and jerk, 5 minutes left, 5 minute right. And then unbroken, no rest, 10 minutes of snatches, 5 left, 5 right. It's possible. And I always mention, we even did a marathon. Angie and me, we were working with the kettlebell for 60 minutes straight. 60 minutes straight without putting the kettlebell down. I chose a 16 and Angie chose an 8 kilo. Maybe we got to make it a challenge and I have to use the 20. Oof. That's a thought. 60-hour workout. Oh, not 60 hours. That would be crazy. It's like the 8-hour workout from Rich Piana, God rest his soul. So the question was, would this type of progression, this type of weight progression apply for all movements? Slower movements like squats and shoulder press. And I said, no. We believe it's only for the ballistics, because if I tell you to do a deadlift for 5 minutes, that could probably put a strain on your lower back, maybe. If I tell you to do 5 minutes of squats, even though you can, it's probably just too crazy, because these are the grinding lifts. And I think there is some limit to the grinding lifts. I think with the grinding lifts, you can upgrade pretty fast if you're able to do, so like 2 minutes and use the 2-minute rule. Yeah, that would be great, actually. Use the 2-minute rule. If you can do 2 minutes goblet squats, 2-minute goblet squat without putting the kettlebell down with a 12 kilo or a 16, whatever, and you want to jump up to the next weight and you manage 2 minutes unbroken with that one weight, 2 minutes deadlift, 2-minute squat, 2-minute lunge, 2-minute Turkish, get up or whatever, then jump to the next weight. And I'm always talking about 4 kilogram jumps, all right? So we got this comment from a guy. He said, hey, man, all this talk, swing this for 5 minutes, do this form, blah, 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 blah. Let's see what it does. What do I mean? Well, let us see how hard you can punch or kick. Can you wrestle? What does all this kettlebell stuff do? I want to see what kind of performance it builds, because I sure as hell don't want to be proficient as just swinging a heavy ball around with hip thrusting and overhead weirdness. Well, this person actually maybe doesn't like kettlebells, but it's always good to talk about when people say stuff like this. And we're gonna talk about it, because you always have to ask yourself, and we're gonna talk about it in detail now, later on. I'll see if it's in detail, because I'm streaming now for over an hour. I'm so crazy. I just love talking about that stuff. 29 people sitting in the chat. Thank you for joining, guys. Because the question remains, listen, guys, you probably heard this. If you do an exercise explosively, this will give you more explosiveness in your sport-specific field. Talking about the perspective of an athlete. That's what many folks say. And I actually have a peer-reviewed paper, and I actually contacted the researcher. I didn't hear back from him yet. If I do, I'll let you know. I contacted this guy and asked him if he still thinks that's the case. Because based on this paper, on the scientific paper, they say, no, there is no transferability into explosive movements, sport specific, like just let's say like a football player, all right, who has to use explosive strength, explosive power. And explosive power, if I remember it correctly, I'm not a strength coach. Bear this in mind. If somebody else has more info, let me know. But what I can tell you is explosiveness is the rate of how quick you can fire your muscle fibers. How quick are you able to trigger the firing of your muscle fibers? That's explosiveness, right? And there's actually, this paper says there's no transferability. So when this guy is saying, well, how hard can you punch? I don't think kettlebell training makes you a harder puncher. I follow some MMA stuff and some boxing stuff. And I think Joe Frazier, Mike Tyson said, and even Mike Tyson himself, he was a crazy puncher. He hit the hardest. I think Marvin Hagler was also somebody who had hard punches, because when you hear those opponents talk about, hey, who was the hardest puncher, they always mention somebody's name. I think Marvin Hagler is on the top list from the old school boxers. And now I think it's Deontay Wilder, who has these killer punches. And now I don't think kettlebell training will make you a harder puncher. I think this is genetics. Because you probably couldn't do the same training with custom model like Mike Tyson had and still don't punch as hard as him. All right? About the wrestling or jiu-jitsu stuff, you have to talk to a certified jiu-jitsu instructor to help you learn the ins and outs of jiu-jitsu. You see? So I don't think it'll make you better sport-specific wise, the kettlebell. But what it does is it gives you some endurance, some power, some structural integrity, and some sense of, and especially the Russian style, because that's something that I want to mention. This year, it's going to be the first time ever that we were actually, that's a cool story. We were asked by law enforcement in our area. Law enforcement, the police, asked us to do a kettlebell seminar with them. And we have 2 seminars coming up with the police. That's cool. Helping law enforcement. So, why did I say this? Sometimes I'm losing. I have so many thoughts in my head. Well, whatever. So, I can't remember what I said. I love this. When you talk for an hour straight and nobody else interrupts, your thoughts go wild. Now, whatever. That's gonna be cool with law enforcement. But what the kettlebell does is it just gives you this foundation. It doesn't make you a better puncher, better wrestler, better whatever. It's gonna help you, and the reason maybe I still can't remember why I brought this up, but the reason why I think I mentioned it, one of the reasons is the guy who contacted me, he said, you know what's the problem with law enforcement? It's not that they can't run, or that when the adrenaline starts, that they can do their stuff that they have to. The problem is when they driving around on their daily routines in the police car, and then all of a sudden they have to go on a job or on a call. They have to answer a call, and then their back hurts because they were sitting in the car for that long. So this is something that the kettlebell can tackle, right? Doesn't mean that all of a sudden they're so strong and that they know all of a sudden they know jiu-jitsu when they work with kettlebells. And now I got it. It's the kettlebell also helps you to stay sane, to hone in and to focus like this, like the lens. It helps you to focus when your brain is exploding and your neurons are turning into a Christmas tree. That's the Russian style. It does that to you. You know why? Do a set 10 minutes of jerks. I don't care with doubles or one. Do 10 minutes of jerks. And like I said, one arm switch only. I recommend you do 5 minutes. One side, 5 minute, other side. And use a challenging weight. You know what's happening? Your brain will start to interfere with your technique and tell you, bruh, you're getting tired, bruh. You crazy, bruh. I'm tired. I want to go home. I want to go to sleep. And you're still working with me. This is what your brain is telling you. And then another aspect comes up. When you get tired, then your body is not able, maybe your body reaches the limit to sufficiently supply your muscles with ATP. It reaches that limit. It slowly creeps in and wastes pyruvate, right? Pyruvate, I think it's pyruvate. Some little biology. Pyruvate waste is building up in your muscles. Now it starts burning. What do? Most of us stop. Okay, that's it. And that's why a lot of people say, that's why I love getting coaching from you guys. Oh, that's why I love working with a personal trainer. And important note, doesn't mean that if you can't do it anymore, that you have to push through. And you listen to your body. We always say that. That's the cue. Listen to your body. And you see, I think I'm killing myself now. I gotta stop. I have to stop. We see that happening as well. Don't kill yourself. But if you feel, no, it's that usual, because your body doesn't want to exit homeostasis. Your body doesn't like it if it gets outside the comfort zone. That's a plain fact. Your body doesn't like it. So if your body doesn't like it and you keep pushing it outside of the comfort zone, and now you want your body to stay outside of the comfort zone for very long, your body will tell you, you're nuts. Now I'm getting hyped up like it's a live workout. Well, you understand what I'm saying? And when you work with the kettlebell for so long, it helps you to stay focused. And there's maybe an adaptability or transferability in MMA, in boxing, like I said, in the police officer. When something goes awry and you have to stay calm, even though your emotions start to flare up, maybe some of that mental training from the kettlebell, when the kettlebell was trying to weigh you down and you had to fight against it, maybe there is some mental strength that comes out of this. All right? Now we got some weight stuff. He says, hey, hello, I'm a guy, 6'4", about 195 pounds, decently strong. I'm interested in starting in kettlebell training. I heard you say for a guy to start with a 12-kilo kettlebell. I'm on a budget. I can probably get 2 or 3 now. Should I buy 2? And we actually get this question a lot. Should I buy 2 12 kilograms or buy heavier for progressing? Thanks. You always want to opt in for, my opinion, for progressive weights. Listen, and I'm going to tell you why. Mastering the basics with a single kettlebell takes an eternity. I have to put it in perspective again when we talk about the Russian style, because it's an art form. It's an art form. It takes ages. It's nuanced. It's so crazy. So mastering the singles takes a lot of time, right? You know what the funny thing is? Once you think you've mastered the singles to a certain degree, I think I'm at that level right now. I think I've mastered the basics to a certain degree. When you pick up 2, it's like, bruh, is that the first time you picked up the kettlebell or what? 2 kettlebells is a whole nother game. I'm telling you guys, 2 kettlebells, it's just a different beast. The rack rest position is different. The breathing is different. That's probably one of the most differentiating factors, is probably the breathing. Because if you rack 2 kettlebells in the rack rest position, that weight is now on your lungs. Makes it a little harder to breathe, although you get accustomed to it. And once you're in the overhead top fixation, you're open, you can breathe a little better. But 2 kettlebells are just a beast in and all by itself. And I don't think, listen to me clearly, I don't think that you need 2 kettlebells to get stronger, to burn fat, to build muscle, to have fun with the kettlebell. You don't need to. You don't need 2 kettlebells. And we also want to recommend, guys, the competition. And listen, I'll tell you, If you think about switching, because this is something that Angie and me talked about recently. If you think about switching from a standard kettlebell, the standard ones, the cast ones, the little ones, right? That get bigger. Once the weight increases, they get bigger, right? And let's say you work with a 16. And now you're switching to competition, 16, it's different. It's different. The competition 16 will probably wear you down. And you're like, what? I've been training with the 16, the standard one. And now the competition is destroying me? You know why? Because the diameter is different. And there's one very important differentiating factor. The grip diameter is thicker. You're grabbing it differently. Even though we don't believe in using a crush grip when it comes to you use a crush grip in some exercises, especially in the grinding lifts, but we don't think there's a crush grip needed when you're doing the ballistics, swing, clean and jerk, and snatch. So the diameter of the handle changes things, and the size changes things. Always opt in. Always. I'm telling you guys, you're not wrong if you have a standard kettlebell and you're having fun and that's cool and you like it. I'm all for you. But if you want to start with the Russian stuff and you want to go a little deeper and you think, man, I don't like it. I don't want, because we got that question. I think it's the next one. Is that the next one? No, we're going to talk about that question. I'm always getting ahead of myself, guys. Still 25 people in the chat. Thank you so much for joining, guys. Now, this question, I feel like the issue with kettlebell complexes or circuits is that there's always an exercise that is the limiting factor. That's true. I can deadlift a lot more than I can row, and I can row and clean more than I can press. Isn't it better to use 2 or even 3 kettlebells? If you have, for example, and this is what programming comes into play. If you have bad, in quotes, programming, you need multiple kettlebells. Doesn't even have to be bad, guys. Doesn't even have to be bad. But if, let's say, like you only have 1 kettlebell, you can do our exercises with 1 weight only. And it's challenging enough. And maybe, yeah, the deadlift is easy with a 12 kilo, but as soon as you go overhead, it's going to be heavier. So maybe you can use the interval method and say, okay, I'm going to speed things up with the 12 kilo. I'm going to go a little faster. Getting some more cardio, maybe more on the cardio side than on the muscle building side, but still building muscle. And then once it's overhead, I'm fighting gravity on a whole nother level. So, of course, you can always, if you have the luxury of having multiple weights, you can switch. But we always make sure that we can choose workouts or build workouts where you don't have to switch weights. But sometimes you can. So the limiting factor, it exists. It exists. That's why programming is important. Now, we got, this is cool. We had somebody, his name is Alexander Torres. He said, thank you very much for the useful information. Is this workout something to be done every day or every day? And then I said, well, frequency depends on your goal, fitness level, and experience. Then he said, well, my goal is to get in shape, because I think some of you guys, maybe or gals, have that goal as well. He said, my goal is to get in good general shape. I'm 39 years old. That's a lot of our people are in that demographic. It's so interesting. I'm 39 years old, 6 foot tall, and weigh 195. I haven't worked out consistently at all. The longest I've worked out consistently has been 6 to 12 weeks, and then stopped for months, if not years in between, due to back injury that left me limited a few years back. And that happens to a lot of people. A lot of people do something, they're motivated, and then they stop. That's why we believe in building habits, because habits are much more powerful than motivation. I'm much better now concerning my back, so I want to build a good foundation to build upon. Losing 15 to 20 pounds is my goal right now. So I answered them. I said, great to hear that your back is now doing better. Now try this. 2 to 3 workout maximum per week. If you're just starting out, maybe 15 minutes and then slowly upgrade to 30. And check out our workouts. And maybe if you do our workout library and you join us and you see because listen, if you join us in our stream, we always go nuts. Angie and me, we always go nuts. And we love that. Even when we do an exercise or a workout that beginners can do. Don't get confused, or don't think, oh man, you guys are going so hard. You can use it as well. Just use lighter weight, go a slower pace, a slower rep range. Take it easy, put the kettlebell down. That's totally fine. And then I said, and work with a coach to help you work on your nutrition, because this is something that we specialize in as well. We help people with their nutrition because nutrition is a big part of the game. And maybe you heard this. People say it's 70% nutrition, 30% training. I don't think that's the case. I think it's 100% training, 100% nutrition. Because if you think it's only 30% training, maybe that leads to the fact that you think, well, okay, I can go once a week on a treadmill, and that's it. And we want to get you the feeling, no, when you invest in a short workout that's 25 to 30 minutes long, commit to it. Don't kill yourself, but commit to it. And then he said, thank you very much for the reply. Your channel and all your content inspired me to buy a kettlebell, which arrived last week. Cool. And get into great shape. So far, I've been eating at a slight caloric deficit. Great. And making sure to eat mostly clean with an occasional treat. Great. Thank you once again, bro. And may you have an amazing day. Cheers from LA. That's cool. You see? 2 to 3 workouts, and maybe work with a coach. And I can really, if you're looking for a coach, you want to talk to us, we can help you. But look for precision nutrition certified coaches. Guys, please make sure, if you want to work with a nutrition coach, work with a precision nutrition certified coach. They're the leaders in the market. It's not about meal plans. It's about changing behaviors. It's about habits. This is where we got our stuff from. Now we got Steve. He says, want to do the one-hand swing, and now we're going to jump into, and it's so long now. It's so long. I'm so nuts, man. And I think you guys are commenting in the chat, man. Meine Gute. Wow, I can scroll through. The chat rate is off the hook. Guys, but bear with me. When I do the one-hand swing and even watch you do it, there doesn't seem to be the same powerful snap of the hips and glutes. Not critiquing, just observing. I don't feel as much glute or hamstring activation, and it doesn't feel as powerful as the two-handed swing. It seems like you can't hinge as much while keeping the belt close to your body. So to me, it's a completely different movement. What do you think? Then I said, great observation. Now we're going to take a deeper dive into it. And I said, not extending the lumbar spine to the extreme as hardstyle swings do probably doesn't get as much stretch to the hamstrings. Yet 2 questions remain. First of all, why do they exercise explosively? And the second question was, if you do it explosively, what's the transferability? We talked about it before. And then he said, thanks for the reply. I always thought it was supposed to be explosive, but when I do singles now, explosive doesn't really seem right. I do like being explosive with the two-hand swing, which is cool. And I think that might carry over. That's interesting. It might carry over to the deadlift. With singles, I've been copying a fluid style, and I do like it. It feels more natural. You know, the hand-to-hand swing, right? And the natural move, the natural vibe, because when you have the two-handed swing, I think maybe your wrists are in your way, or the positioning for your hips is not perfect when you have both hands down on your quads, and you don't get the same arm-body connection that you get with the single-handed swing. So that's why he also says, and a lot of folks said it since they discovered the swing from the Russian style, it feels more natural. And he says, also, what size bell do you use for singles? Is it half of what you use for double? He probably asked the question because he thinks we're having a different. I'm not sure if he talks about the weight. I think he talks about the size, the size of the kettlebell. And you see, I'm always using the same size. So I don't even have to ask that question. I don't even have to ask myself, oh, should I use the smaller or the bigger one? It's always the same size. So that question, I don't even have to ask. That question's answered right away. It's not even a question. All right. Now, let's jump into this. I really want to show you this, guys, because it's so interesting. I always say the word, guys, every time I say the word interesting, we drop down and do 100 push-ups. I say this word so often, but now I'm excluded, guys, because this review has a lot of interesting stuff in it, right? So the question is there transferability of exercises done explosively? And now let's jump into this. I want to show it to you. Just listen, this is a scientific paper. I know this is not the easiest thing to read. But, oh, wait. Now I got it. Here we are. Boom. I think you should see it now. But I think it's cool to talk about it. And like I said, the podcast is about diving deep. Now, it says, I'm not going to read everything, but I'm going to read what is I think, integral to understand the study. He says, strength and conditioning training, they say, this is, who is it? And I contacted him. Where's the doctor? I can't make it. Don't see it. But it's one of them. You see how many reviewed it? who was the editor-in-chief and a big review board. So it's a critical review. So that means, listen, and here he goes, Stuart Bruce Lowe, and I contacted him. I hope I'm hearing something from him. And just for you to understand, guys, what a scientific paper is, I'm not a pro at it, just on the surface. A critical review means these guys, these scientists came together and they reviewed other papers, okay? I think how many papers they reviewed? 57 papers. They reviewed 57 papers and they had their conclusions. And these conclusions, we're going to talk about them. Now, strength and conditioning training is now an integral part of athletic preparation for all serious athletes and sports teams. However, the issue of how best to train to prepare for athletic competition is very controversial. Issues such as volume, frequency, training, choice of exercise, and movement cadence are debated by athletes, coaches, and exercise scientists. And now, what are the most controversial issues in the field in the use of explosive exercises to increase strength and power? All right. Typical examples of such exercises commonly prescribed by strength coaches are Olympic-style lifts, to be explosive as fast as possible. And what they say is, I'm at the see, because I don't want to read too much because we're getting too deep now. But what they say is that most studies do not support the view that explosive exercises are superior to slow weight training for enhanced muscle strength, power, hypertrophy. However, the important question still remains of how well increases in strength and power translate into better performance in the sports field. And that's what that they also talked about. Now, let's jump into the conclusion because we have so much stuff, guys. Now, the conclusion, I want to read the full conclusion. Check this out. Now, based upon the findings that these guys had, that Bruce Lowe and his friend had, they went through, like I said, 57 studies, and I even checked one study that seems to correlate to the fact what they said. That seems to agree, all right? And here they talk about the risk as well, because I don't think they mention, are they mentioning the risk? Yeah, they mentioned the risk in this. So let's read this. I'm going to have to stop commenting and read this. Listen, guys. Explosive exercises, including Olympic lifts and variations of these, plyometric style training, and traditional weight training exercises performed with a very fast cadence are very popular with athletes and are advocated by many self-proclaimed experts in the field of strength and conditioning. You probably heard this. Do push-ups faster, it will translate. Like you said, the comment before, he said, doing the hard style swing with both hands explosively probably carries over to the deadlift. That's what he thinks. And now they say, it is often claimed that such exercises translate better into enhanced sporting performance compared to weight training with a slow cadence. And here you go with the difference. The hard style is more explosive and the Russian style is more fluid. Check this out. However, as we have shown, there is little evidence that these training techniques are effective in enhancing athletic performance, and no evidence that they are more effective than relatively safe, slow weight training. In fact, some studies suggest that slow weight training may be more effective in enhancing strength and power. Also, there is considerable evidence that explosive exercises pose considerable injury risk. We contend that these risks are ethically unacceptable. And why? That's one of the questions that I asked on the Joe Rogan video. Why do an exercise that could potentially be dangerous? Why do it then, even if it brings me more value in some field which is probably minute in a difference? But it's the injury risk jumps up to 50%. Why do it then? As such, we recommend that, as supported by the literature, a training regime that encompasses slow, controlled weight training in combination with the sport-specific, here we go, sport-specific training, that's different, is all that is necessary to enhance both muscle strength and power and in turn improve actual sporting performance. It's such an interesting paper. And it's from 2007. I've contacted this Dr. Bruce Lowe. I hope he answers my call and then we can talk about it even further. Now the Q&A. Still 27 people in the chat, guys. You guys are nuts. I've been streaming for so long now. And radio's calling in. Radio's calling in. Just know this. I sponsored today's video of Lebe. In the back you see my friend Igor. We are both hunting for good kettlebell channels. Make sure you like and subscribe to the Lebe YouTube channel. Or else, comrade, we can't consider you to be a true student of the art of kettlebell training. Yeah, you heard him. I didn't say this. Like and subscribe to the video, to the channel. I didn't say that. Let's check out the chat. You guys are lit. 29 people in the chat now. Thank you so much for joining, for sticking with us. I hope, please let me know in the chat, guys. Please let me know. Did you get some value out of this? Did you get some value for your time that you have exchanged with me? Because this session wasn't for free. You're going to be billed afterwards. No, I'm joking. It's not for free because you traded your time. And trading time, as we mentioned in the beginning, there's one thing that you don't get back in life, and that is your time that you're investing. So let me know in the chat, guys. So let's switch back to the full view then. We have Angie, the moderator. That's Angie's the queen. She's the queen. Whenever she says something, you guys got to bow down. You know what's up. She says, hey, fun. We got Dean rocking. We got Olaf in the chat. Hello, everyone. Everybody saying hello. You see these folks having a conversation. That's the Kettlebell Club. Man, I love the Kettlebell Club. Join the Kettlebell Club, guys. Join it. If it was worth your time right now, the value that you got, consider joining the club. Captain Howdy, hello, people. Captain Howdy says, hey, I love this. I love you, man, what you're saying. Is it possible to get English caption for your Swedish-speaking videos instead of German? You're Swedish? I'm talking Swedish? What? No, instead of German. You're Swedish? I'm not talking Swedish. It's German. German all the way. The old stuff is German. Because Swedish is such a crazy language. Rolf, you are from... Rolf, where are you from? Denmark, Sweden? Or Norway, right? We can't confuse the Scandinavians, guys. Don't confuse them. Norway, right? Rolf, am I right? Let me know, brother. Ephraim saying, hey, yo, the YouTube algorithm is kicking in for you, brother. You have great content, and I'm glad I found your channel. Thank you very much, brother, man. Yeah, cool fellow freaks. Angie's English is very good, Alexia. I'm saying that too. Please say that to Angie. Please, guys, Kettlebell Club, please, the next time she's on the chat, please spam the chat and say, Angie, your English is great. She has to read it because she's always scared. She's like, I can't speak when you're speaking. Please, guys. You should hear her when she talks in her native language at home. Now, Dean saying, I think I was following Steve, that I stumbled on your channel, and then I watched your Joe Rogan broadcast, and then I started checking out the sessions. It was perfect timing for lockdown. Great, Dean. That's how you found us. So awesome. Ephraim saying, don't apologize. It's real talk. Yeah. Being worth your time. Yeah. You don't have to apologize for it. If you know that you have increased your value that you're bringing to the table, and we always talk about it with a couple of friends of mine. We always say this. If you know that you've increased your value, let your employer know or let your clients know. Hey, listen, this is what we did. This is what I did. This is the value that I'm bringing now compared to the value that I brought before. I'm much more valuable now. I have a lot of more responsibility now. I can do things better, more efficiently. I can even do other stuff as well. Has to be paid. Has to be paid more. More value that you bring to the market means more money for you. That's just basic economics. Then Alexa saying, you work very hard and your time is worth money. Thank you so much, Alexia. Sending you love. Kelly saying, what a great sponsor, right? He's a great sponsor, right? That's the best sponsor that you can get. And he said, you know what I'm going to do, brother? I'm going to support your channel. But what you have to do, comrade, brate, is you just have to mention me. That's it. That's the greatest sponsor that you can get. Michael in the building, the way you question yourself is part of what keeps you real and keeps me watching. Thank you very much, Michael. I think this is something that even coaches, especially coaches, maybe sometimes get wrong. It's not about, when you talk about something, I think you always have to know your craft, right? Before talking about it. But how do you get to know your craft? By progressing, right? By adding knowledge, by adding time, by reading stuff, by doing the actual thing. This is how you master your craft and hone your craft. And I even said that in the, I didn't say it. Yuri Boyka's brother said it. Yuri Boyka's brother, he said, go watch the video, man. It's so funny. I think it's funny, at least. He said it. Documenting your process while mastering the craft is a great tool. And that even qualifies you to maybe share some tips, tricks, or even teach. Teach especially if you have some educational background. But even if you have some educational background, you just did the IKFF, right, from Steve Carter, or the Strong First certification. You just started. It's just one sheet of paper. But you don't have the experience yet. But still talk about it. I talk about it all the time. And even Angie and I, we did this recently. In German, we did it. We took one of our older workouts and we had a good laugh about it. Because we were looking at our style, at our form, which was so nuts, which is so crazy. I sometimes even ask myself, how was I able to go through the IKFF test? And now I even do the IKFF test with the 24. I used to think, I talked to this, today I told the client, I said, the IKFF test used to be the hardest workout for me because I regularly did it on a weekly basis. Every day every week on Monday, I did it. The IKFF test, 100 swings, 36 clean and jerks or clean and presses, 60 snatches, one arm switch on both exercises actually, and 30 goblet squats, and then resting in the goblet squat position. That was the hardest workout for me with the 24. Now we do it on the weekend. We do the hardest workout. That was, for me, the hardest workout on Monday. We do it on the weekend. After going nuts with the 32 and the 28, Angie chose a 20 kilo yesterday. And I decided to rock with the 28 thoroughly. That was the first time I decided I'm going to start with the 28. This workout, I'm going to start with the 28. I'm going to stick to it. And at the end, I was able, in the last round, I chose the 32. And I was able to crank out 5 snatches in the last minute of the snatch with the 32, with my strong arm, with my right arm, I was able to crank out 5 reps in about 8 seconds or 10 seconds. I went into blood sport mode. And I got it, man. And now it's the easiest workout. I'm even considering to do the IKFF test the next time we do it, the IKFF on Saturday. I'm considering choosing in 28. Doing it. I'm probably going to do it. Because now, man, now my mission, my idea, and this is how you see me progressing now. Just maybe I can help you with this. I'm progressing now with thinking, okay, now I want to get used to the 28. Maybe you're thinking, okay, 16 and 20. Get used to the 20. Get used to the 20. Put it down if it's too heavy, and then get it back up. Put it down if it's too heavy, but get used to it. Your bones, your soft tissues, everything has to adapt to the heavier weight, your rack position, the feeling, your muscles. Let it adapt and work with it continuously. So now I'm thinking, okay, 24 is now almost down pat. I gotta get used to the 28, man. And sometimes and even the 32 doesn't feel as heavy as it used to feel like. That's what's up. I'm digressing. I'm always digressing, man. I love it. Yeah, Michael, that's why I said you keep questioning yourself. And questioning yourself just means you get better. Critiquing yourself means you get better. Living in a world without criticism is dangerous, highly dangerous, because you think you're so suchy much. And then somebody else comes along, maybe shows out a few flaws, and then you're like, oh, my world is crashing. Always critique yourself. Don't destroy yourself. I'm laughing at my form back then, but I was teaching then. But I wasn't teaching the crazy stuff. I got some sanity. I didn't teach the crazy stuff that I'm teaching now. And I didn't have the knowledge that I have now. But I was able to help some folks because I got a strong enough background in strength training and lifting that I know that you can't break yourself doing stuff like this. But I didn't teach the snatch back then because I didn't know how the snatch actually works. The Russian snatch, right? So questioning yourself means you get better, man. It's always, and we live in that crazy world where people think I can't show my weakness. It doesn't mean, and you don't have to go all in on the other side, walking around showing everybody how flawed you are and thinking, okay, wow, you see, I can't do this, I can't do that. And this is I think that's the other side of the coin where people always tell you, I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm so bad at that, I'm so bad at this. You don't have to be like this, but maybe just consider, how can I improve? You can improve by watching your older stuff and compare it with the level where you want to go. And especially talk to those people or learn from those people who are there where you want to go. Questioning yourself. I got this awesome analogy from Jim Rohn. He said, and this is so true. Jim Rohn, when he met please Google Jim Rohn. The guy's a legend. Jim Rohn. That's Jim, Jim Rohn. Okay? Jim Rohn, he said, and he got one video out. It's about 4.5 hours long or 4 hours long. I watched this video like 3 times already or 4 times. I always watch it once a year or once in 6 months because there's so much value in it. So he said, when he met his mentor, Mr. Shof, he always talks about his mentor, Mr. Shof. He said, when I met him, Mr. Shof told me, hey, man, Jim, make a list with all the stuff that's wrong in your life, and everything has to be on the list where you think that's a problem, the thing that's bothering you the most. Make a list. So Jim came back with the list. He showed it to him, and then he said, well, I put everything on it. The weather, the market, the economy, the president, the state that I'm living in, my employer, my wife, my kids, my life, everything. And then Mr. Shof said something. I like this. He said, Mr. Rohn, one crucial point is missing on the list. And Jim said, oh, which one? You. You are missing on the list. And that doesn't mean that you are a problem. But maybe you are, to some extent, standing in the way of progress. You yourself. That's why Michael Jackson says, take a look at the man in the mirror. And he's so true. Man, I gotta stop. Still 22 people in the chat, guys. I wanted to talk about the chat, and now I'm digressing again. But listen. I had the story. I recently updated the website, okay? I updated the whole website. I do this not once a year, but we switched some things. All right, so I updated it. And then I stumbled over an old post where I used to say about Lebe stock, okay? About our story, blah, blah. And I read through, it was a huge blog post that I posted. I went through it. And you know what I said? I read. And I remember myself vividly how I was back then. Well, I've worked with person X. He didn't deliver. I've worked with person Y. He didn't. His promise didn't hold true. I've worked with person A, and this person broke promises. And I've worked with person X, and here's where I have my broken dreams. All right, so I realized, look at you blaming everybody else. And of course, if you live long enough on this planet, you will find out that people are not true to their word, and sometimes your trust will be abused. This is what happens if you live long enough on the planet, I think. And this happens to all of us, and that's normal. That's just part of being a human being. It's totally fine. Always stay open, I believe. Change your perspective. But I was playing the blame game. And now I'm telling you, you know who was in the way of progress? This person right here. The person you're seeing now, and my mother's telling me this. My parents are telling me this. You have changed completely. Completely. Compared to the last, when you were 5 or 6 years younger. Completely. And there's one sentence that says, nothing changes until you change, and then everything changes. I can't put in words how awesome that's, how much truth there is in this statement. Let's go through it again. Nothing changes until you change, and then everything changes. That's what's up. I'm so hyped. I feel like I'm in a live workout. We still got 24 people in the chat now. Let's go back to the chat, man. Wow. I've been streaming for what? And you think that's long? I think that's long. That's about 1 hour and 46 minutes. You think that's long? I follow Dr. Disrespect. You guys know Dr. Disrespect, one of the biggest gaming streamers there is. I think he is, at least to my knowledge. There's other guys, but I think he's one of the biggest. And he recently did a 10-hour stream. I'm not joking. 10 hours of live streaming. You see, I watch folks who are the best in their niche. I look at how they do it, and I see what I can take from them. Do this as well. If you want to be good at something, take a look at what those people, successful people in that niche do. And then listen. You know what and I think Tomska said this. This is a YouTuber. You know what he said? You know what your own style is? Your own style is nothing less than you've stole from so many people that it's not recognizable anymore. That's your style. Stealing from everybody. Stealing, right? Stealing from everybody until it's not recognizable anymore. That's your style. So take a look at what people are doing. 10-hour stream, and I went through his video. You know how you can use the mouse and then really scroll through the timeline on YouTube? You know why I did it? I scrolled through it very slow. Maybe I missed something. But I think he was on 10 hours straight. Maybe, I don't even know if he took a break. This guy's a beast. This guy's a legend. Now, let's go back to kettlebells, man. Rolf, I'm so glad I found your channel. In the beginning, it was only German, but I enjoy that you speak English as well. Thank you very much, Rolf. Angie, if you count down in German, you can speak louder so I can learn German counting. Yes, you heard that, baby? Retired 2019. I'm 50 years young, and I just started doing kettlebells. Keep going, brother. So awesome. Alexia, I am a freelancer, and when somebody asks me for translating something for a very lower rate, I refuse because my knowledge and my time is worth money. That's what's up. And sometimes I did this as well. Alexia, so great that you bring this up. Sometimes I decided to leave money on the table. I said, yeah, I know what you're offering me. I know what you're trying to give me, but I don't want that. 2 reasons. Alexia said it. First of all, you got to be aware of your value. Now we go into some mental stuff, but I think that's cool. Is it cool, guys? I think it's cool. At least I like to hear it. Like I said, you got to listen to good stories over and over again. So value is one thing. If you say, no, that's not my, that doesn't, the equation's not right, because what you want my time. So if you want my time, you got to pay for the value that I put on the time, all right? That's one thing, one reason to say no. And the second reason, we've made this experience. And I got this from the Bible this way. You know what Abraham said? Abraham told Lot, right? That was his nephew. When they split ways. It was a story in the Bible where Abraham, he was one of the richest guys that ever lived on the planet. He split ways with Lot. And Lot said, hey man, you can keep this, you can keep this. I'm paraphrasing, I don't know if it was Lot. But he split with his partner. And then his partner said, come on, take this, take this, take this, take this. And you know what Abraham said? He said, you know what, brother? I'm not taking anything. You know why? I'm not taking anything, brother, because I don't want you to go around and say you made Abraham rich. You take it. Everything that's yours. I take everything that's mine, and we're equal. I like that. And I've applied this story to our life because we've got a request from somebody who said, hey, can you offer personal training at home? We said, well, usually not. But hey, it's a friend of Angie, so we decided, okay, let's do it. Or, okay, I'm going to listen to the offer. And then he presented his offer, what he wanted. And then I say, okay, this is what you're getting with the discount for New Year's, blah, 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 blah. And then he said, no, I don't want the discount. I don't even want that additional training. But, you know, to make a long story short, he thought he was a good Samaritan. And he thought, well, you know what I'm going to do? The reason why I want to buy coaching from you is, you know, I just donated some money to this guy. I donated a laptop to this guy. I donated the thing to blah, 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 and I want to donate to you guys. And I said, baby, you know what? Quit. We're not taking this. Either he goes the official route. This is the discount. This is the additional training. The fair price. If we drive to your home, you have to pay for this. Or we're not doing it at all. She said it, and he said, okay, then we're not doing it. And I said, you know, that's good, because we actually found out what this person is like, and I don't want anybody to walk around saying, well, you know, I've donated to Lebe stock. Because once they do it, they think that they got the upper hand. I'm just thinking about, okay, they're quitting a training. Say, I'm quitting the training. I'm not coming. Or I'm right at their house, and they're saying, oh, today I don't do the training. I'm saying, okay, well, that training is done. And they say, no, it's not done. Remember, I gave you something. Now you got to give me something back. And that's the law of reciprocity. I think the law of reciprocity is good, but in that case, no. See? And guys, please let me tell you, being straight, being truthful, and having just a backbone, having integrity, believing in something that stands above you, above profit, above anything else, that's integrity, man. That brought us the most successful month we've ever had since the inception of Lebe stock. In a crisis, guys. I believe that it pays off in the end. Digressing again. Man, I love this. Longto, very important question. When are we getting a Kettlebell Rap? Man, Longto. Wow, are we really gonna do this? Hey, I recently thought about it. Guys, I've contacted three producers, guys. 3 producers who are, listen, the music that they're doing, the music, the synth wave, retro wave music style that they're doing, I'm not joking. I'm willing to pay $100 for that album from these artists. I'm willing to pay $100 for the full album just to get the license to stream it on YouTube. These tracks are just vibing, guys. Man, if these producers are getting back to me and you hear that sound, you're going to see it in the live workouts. Because I believe great music always has to be a part of our live workouts. So the Kettlebell Rap, man, maybe it's coming. Angie Steele is saying, okay, Adolf, go Kettlebell Club, Scott Brown in the building. Dean saying, I think what the channel stands out for me, as well as the friendly vibe and personality, is the flow and format of the workout sessions and the unique stuff we're doing. That's what's up. You see, Dean, I think it's also very unique because, first of all, it's the Russian style, but we implement the Russian style not for athleticism, or got to be more specific, not as athletes, but as common people. And I think that for time method, with the 3 exercises for 2 minutes straight unbroken, and 1 minute break as one round, and then doing multiple rounds, this works so well with not only you guys on YouTube, it works with clients in real life so well as well. It's just awesome. Captain Howdy saying, thank you, Swiss government. I'm listening to you. Thank you, good. So awesome. Alexia agrees with Dean. Nicola Grief clapping the hands. Rolf, my wife is smiling at me. Haven't I tried to copy you? My excuse is I do not hear you well enough. That's cool. Michael saying, yes, your workouts are very approachable. Others can be intimidating and complicated looking. Yes, and I mentioned this in one of our videos. I said that's maybe the crux of kettlebell training is for a beginner. It might look crazy or even not dangerous, but maybe very intimidating. And it's so awesome that you're mentioning this, Michael, because today I had a talk with a potential client, with a prospect, and he said, man, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the full program, 3 personal trainings per week, and then the nutrition coaching for 8 weeks. That's one of the programs that we offer. It's one of the bigger ones. And he said, yeah, I'm going to do it. It's going to be awesome, blah-blah. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to do it. So what he decided to do was, hey, give me the contract. I'm going to sign it, and I'm going to be right there rocking with you guys. And I said, okay. I sent him the contract, and then he contacted me. He said, hey, listen, I just watched that video where you're doing snatches with one of your clients. Man, my shoulder's so banged up, I'm scared now. So, Michael, that's what you're saying. That's why kettlebell training can be intimidating. And that's why you need a good coach. I'm always talking to you guys, please find a good coach in your local area. If you find a good coach who is very good in person teaching you and coaching you, talk to them. Because the intimidating stuff is made approachable if the coach really teaches you the right way, I think. Alexia, yes, you know what to expect beforehand. Nothing is hitting and nothing seems impossible. Yeah. Michael Dale, I joined the club because I felt like I was taking advantage since you were really helping me. No regrets for joining this tribe. Thank you very much, brother. You don't have to feel you don't have to feel like you're taking advantage. But you see, that's the law of reciprocity. I'm giving you guys so much value because I love, you see, I've been streaming for almost 2 hours now because I can't stop talking about it. So why not find an audience that is willing to listen to my crazy stuff or to our crazy stuff? I want to include Angie because Angie's as nuts as I am. And yesterday with the 20 kilo, Angie was going crazy. And I love her for this, man. And I chose the 32. And you know what's funny? Yesterday in the workout, I was playing in my mind that game. I was like, okay, 28 for 4 rounds. Gonna do it. It's gonna feel fine. In the 3rd round, I was like, man, I just recently told a client I want to work out with the 32 at least once or twice a week. So I said, yeah, let's grab the 32. All right. And then I take a look at my iPhone. And then the clock was saying 1932. That was the 32 calling me. And so I had to answer the call. Man, I love this. Alexia, I've seen fitness coaches promoting themselves with videos where they do crazy stuff and promise you can become like them. Physically speaking, that's what you see calisthenics guys do. And even though I believe, calisthenics looks very impressive. And it is. It's actually taken from just gymnastics. You see what gymnastics guys are doing and how shredded they are and how, not only the guys, the gals as well, how shredded and in shape they are. And calisthenics got that vibe. Yeah, got that vibe, Alexia. And I believe if you have a very good coach who can make it approachable. I like that, Michael. You said this. I got to write this down. You guys are so awesome. Approachable. Where is it? We were talking about spring mechanics, fiddle. Approachable. This is something that I've learned from Jim Rohn as well, because your brain is a very bad medium to save stuff. You forget it, so you got to write it down. Now, Longtoe saying kettlebell is worth every penny. All the donos and kettlebell club fees given are still cheaper than my local gym. Man, I've gotten a heck a lot more out of Gregory and Angie. Wow, Longtoe, thank you so much for that great feedback. You see how the kettlebell club is giving feedback. I love you guys, man. Rolf saying, Michael Dale, I felt the same. And Dean saying, hi, Rolf, when you start saying that's what's up to your wife, she should be worried. Jakub, Longtoe, same here. I'm saving. So awesome. And Dean, see, he was paying, you were paying 60 pounds per month? Wow. But that's pretty. I thought the monthly fees and the monthly rates are way lower. Because in Germany, you actually get access to pretty decent clubs with pretty decent equipment for about 19 euros per month. But I'm paraphrasing. I can't remember. 60 pounds? Whee, that's a lot. But you know, we were talking about the disruption, guys. You see, the fitness market is changing radically. And this pandemic is now disrupting and decentralizing it. And, you know, I'm not making any friends with this statement when I say I think I like it. Don't get me wrong. I don't like it when people lose their jobs, and I don't as hell not like it when people are put out of business or businesses are put out of business. However, there's one thing that you have to imagine. You know how many jobs were lost and how many emotional traumas came out as a result of Blockbuster closing because Netflix came up, when Kodak had to close down, when MySpace, when even Justin Timberlake was so crazy to spend a lot of money on MySpace, which turned out to be nothing. When now Facebook is scouring to buy everything up because they think, hey, well, wow, we don't want no competition. How many jobs were lost at these businesses that didn't go with their time? And even other businesses who, I think Whole Foods was bought by Amazon, and Amazon is like 30 years younger than Whole Foods. And you know, even if that business didn't close down, if you get swallowed up by another company, everything's gonna change. And maybe if you work there, maybe some things are gonna change that you're not gonna like. So you see how much emotional distress hangs upon it. And I don't like it that people have to go through it. Yet it's a part of life. And it's a part of running a business. If you ignore the times, and if you ignore what's happening in the market, and if you depend, or if you want to depend on government to help you out, one of the least competent entities that you can trust or you can depend on is the government, in my opinion, even in Switzerland, as we have seen now. It's there to regulate stuff, but as soon as the government has to really take matters in their own hand and, you know, close down the market, things go nuts because they don't have the experience. They're used to, well, stuff works. We don't have to be proficient, and we don't have to be good at it. We have the monopoly, right? So there's no incentive to do better. So now the fitness market is exploding. And I wonder how many gyms are closing down because January was so bad. Not bad, because January was closed. You have to imagine how many gyms survive on January only. And now I see what the Swiss gym fitness studio, what the head. The Verband, I don't find the name in English right now. What they're doing right now, it's crazy. Complaining and yelling and crying. This is not working. At least in my perspective. Listen, we are standing in front of a closed down road. The road's closed, the bridge is broken, it's burned. The way it burned and why it burned, I don't like it. I don't think it's cool, but it's closed. Man, I'm digressing again. But it's closed, and now these are the facts. Now, what you going to do with it? You have to do something at least. And an entrepreneur is willing to work through any given time. And the results that we got in January, at least revenue-wise, shows me people are willing to pay for fitness and training and everything. But we have created a so-called blue ocean. We've specialized in kettlebells. So we don't have to battle with anybody about pricing. But if we specialize in nothing and do what everybody does, you know what happens? A price battle that's racing down to the bottom. Man, and 60 pounds is a lot. Alexia is welcoming Pamela. Long toe. Yeah, bam! Alexia, Dean, only for the membership. I mean, classes included. Alexia's asking this too. It seems like very, very expensive. Dean, she's not worried of other girls. We are sharing the same room, and she's more worried about lose the kettlebell. Yes. Make sure it doesn't drop. Long to Belgium in the Kettlebell Club now. How many countries do we have active in the club now? I think we got the States, we got the UK, and Alexia, we can count Spain as well, right? You guys are from Spain, so we count Spain as well. And then we got Norway, right? The Scandinavians. We got Germany. We got Austria. We got Yeah. And the States, I'll mention the States. We get a lot of viewership from the States, guys. And it's crazy. It even pays better. YouTube pays you better if you do content, sports content, fitness content that is made for an American audience. It pays you better for the cost per mil. It pays you way less for German speaking cost per mil. Interesting stuff. Now, what? Scott saying, what? Yeah, Pamela, no escape now. And Pamela saying she finally joined. I've been hanging back with you guys all month. Now she's all in. Yay! So awesome. The power of the internet for sure, Long Toe. That's what's up. And that's what's up, guys. Please. That's the power of the internet. The power of the internet made it possible for you to discover the kettlebell. Like for me, the power of the internet made it possible for me to get coaching from Steve Carter, to invite him here to the studio. The internet has so much possibilities, and the internet doesn't care about no pandemic at all. It even grows bigger. It's crazy. Jakub, Denis, yeah, we're talking about Denis. Denis is a beast. Denis Vasilev seems like a total gentleman too when he's coaching. That's what's up, Dean. I saw this. Hey, somebody just joined the club. Not joined the club, but joined the channel. Thank you so much for subscribing to the channel. Yeah, Denis seems like a very, very, very. Hey, what's up, guys? Are you guys going nuts? Or is Streamlabs going nuts? I keep hearing the subscriptions coming in. But what I want to say is Denis Vasilev is a very, very, very humble coach, a very humble man. And I always respect people for their craft. Don't matter if they're cocky or arrogant. If they're good at what they do, I believe I have to respect them if they're good at what they do. Don't care about the human side. Not talking about the human side now. Just being good at what they do. But if they're humble, if they're good at it, if they're beasts and they're humble, that's the cream of the crop, guys. Follow Denis Vasilev, please. He's the king. Olivier, a video explaining the correct snatch technique to avoid tearing our hands up. That's a great idea, man. Writing it down. I think I wrote the snatch down recently. Actually, we have a video. We were talking about the podcast, I think, but maybe I can do it with the moving techniques, with just demonstrating the lift a little more. But we actually have, in one of our recent podcasts, we really dug into the snatch. So please, Olivier, check out our channel and search on our channel and just type in snatch. The 9 phases of the snatch, that's the extended version. And then I'm even reacting to the snatch, how Angie and I do it, and I'm commenting. So maybe that helps you. Rolf saying, I started to follow Ivan Denisov. I don't understand the word, but I like his style. Ivan Denisov, guys, dude is a monster. Dude is a monster. A heavyweight monster. And he even has a video where he's snatching the 40 kilo for 10 minutes. And he does what? Over 110, 112 reps, something, with a 40 kilo kettlebell. Guys, a 40 kilo is nuts. But I'm playing with the thought to really get myself a 36 kilo kettlebell. I'm thinking about it. Really thinking about it, but I really have to master the 32 first, at least to some degree. And there's also limiting factors. I'm not a big dude. I'm not a particularly strong dude. I think I'm average. But I have a very, 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 very high work capacity and work mentality to perfect the lift. So that gives me a little bit of an advantage and makes up for the strength that I don't have. I think I do have some strength, but if you compare it with other folks, I'm way out of the league. But it's all about, and that's the beautiful thing about the kettlebell. It makes you strong, but it's also about technique. And Long Toe says he has a comprehensive snatch video. Dig through the channel. Yeah, so awesome when you guys are answering the chat. Alexia, miércoles. Yes, that's Wednesday. That's what's up. And Kelly says, don't use a Bowflex kettlebell for cleans or anything that rests on your wrist. There's a sharp edge that, for me, digs right into my wrist. Ooh, I thought my phone was off, but it was the bell. Yep. And Bowflex, that's the adjustables, right? Guys, if you have the finances, buy yourself a competition kettlebell, and then you have multiple kettlebells. You're going to have a small, beautiful collection, and you're going to be fine. Stefan, personally, I only need 3 exercises. The stuff on Monday is the best, in my opinion. Simple, tough, enough. That's what's up. And he says, hello, club. Olivia says, I will look for it. Thanks. You will find it. Question for later. How does one get involved with IKFF in 2021? Just contact Steve directly. He answered through my Instagram message. I sent him an Instagram message and he answered. I think they are offering online courses. And I saw Steve offer some online courses. So get in touch with him directly or go to ikff.net. This is where you find all the resources. And I think they're doing online stuff. And then if you're living in the States, I think it's Ken Blackburn who does most of the IKFF stuff because Steve's traveling all around. If you're in the Asian region, it's Kettle Phil is his username. That dude is a beast. Then in our territory, it's Barry. I don't have his surname, but it's Barry, and he's from the Netherlands, and he offers IKFF courses. Dean, we'll certainly miss all these live weekly sessions when you go back to Saturdays only. Now, Dean, we're actually thinking about it. We don't want to, first of all, I don't want to leave you guys hanging because we really love you guys. And the second thing is we still want to find a great schedule that works for the channel as well as for the business. And of course, I have to see, the horse that runs the fastest right now is clearly the business, the coaching business. It's the strongest and the fastest. However, when we take a YouTube and our analytics, the prospects, it looks like the predictions look like that in about 3 to 4 years, it may be that the YouTube has the same amount, at least financially speaking, or the same weight as the coaching. So don't worry, guys. We're going to work something out. 1000% Captain. Now, so this is the point of the hook grip. The point of the hook grip, guys, is to rack rest the kettlebell. Yes. And the point of the hook grip is also to go into the overhead top fixation, pressing the handles first. It's the best way to press the kettlebell from a hook grip. And another fact is, people always mention this. It's way better for your palm. It's not killing your skin on your palm, switching from the finger into the hook grip. Gonna dive into it in a future video. I love the double troubles, amazing intensity. Yeah, doubles give you, like I said, it's a new world. Kettlebell movements mirror real life body moves. Yep. And I think barbells and dumbbells do that as well. Just working with free weights where you have to control your body in space. That's basically it. Functional. Exactly. And Maca Power, awesome. Do you have a monthly fee in your gym? No, we don't use the regular model that you're used to in the commercial gyms. What we have is you pay for each hour for coaching. So nobody in our gym trains for themselves, except for Angie and me. But nobody walks into the gym and do what they want. Not that we don't trust them, but this is not our model. It's about just paying for every coaching session. And that model works very well. Captain Scott, will we meet tomorrow in the live session? Yeah, you guys are gathering. Tomorrow's going to be great. And Olivier, I find also a slow motion of Steve Carter. Yeah, check this out when it comes to the snatch. I will be on live Saturday. Replays until then, Scott. So awesome. Sounds great. Scott Brown, I hate side lunges, so afraid of knee damage. Ooh, that's also something that I didn't mention. It can be tricky for your knees. Yes, side lunges can be tricky for your knees. Jakub, my torso is too long to be able to do it without hunching like Quasimodo. Are you talking about the swing? And listen, the hunching, or even the rack resting. They're probably talking about the rack resting, right? If you have a very long torso, you maybe have long arms, right? And when you rack rest the kettlebell, it's not only about your upper back relaxing and hunching a little bit, and not to an extreme extent, but you have to hunch a little bit. But it's also, I always call it, I always say, detaching your humerus, your upper arm, all right, the bone of your upper arm, detaching it from the scapula, detaching in quotes, so that you feel that your upper limb, that your humerus is disconnecting from your scapula. You can do it by right? It's protraction. Sometimes I make mix them up. Retraction, protraction. By protracting, I think it's protracting. Just pulling, use the standard words, man. Sometimes I want to sound like a smart ass. You want to really pull your arm down and make sure that you can connect with your hip. So it's hunching to a certain degree, but also really pulling your arms down. And there's a stretching move that you maybe need if you are tight in your upper back, because your muscles have to allow that range of motion for your upper arm to be able to connect with your iliac crest of your hip. And the spring mechanism. Captain says this. And my most favorite mechanism is summer. What? Summer? Scott Brown. I noticed you guys absorb the downward momentum of the kettlebell between the legs as a swing. I used to just absorb with a bend in the knee. This is a new concept for me as far as cleans. Absorb the downward moment between the legs as a swing. I used to just absorb with a bend in the knee. Just going down, bending the knees like into a deadlift or a squat movement and then pulling it back up. Is that what you mean, Scott? Actually, that is a power clean, so that you know the difference. If we're talking about a clean, a regular clean, you go into the backswing, pulling it up, hip extension, then it's, we'll go through the phases real quick. Then it's acceleration pull, hand insertion, rack rest position. That's the clean. And then amortization, dropping the kettlebell, reconnecting to your body, going to the backswing, right? That's the standard clean. But if you do it like you do it, is you drop it down and bending your knees and maybe drop the kettlebell down. If you don't put it down, and this is technical speaking, but maybe it's interesting for you guys. If you drop the kettlebell down to the floor and you pull it back up, it's a power clean. If you drop the kettlebell down and it doesn't touch the floor, it's still hanging in the air and you pull it back up, it's a hang clean. You see? These are the differences. A strict press. Is that hard style then, Captain Howdy? No, it isn't. Doing a strict press is a grinding lift. The style is just the way how you do it, because that's maybe a different approach that you're using. Consider this approach. The swing is a swing, whether it's hard style or Guruvoy, kettlebell sport. So a press is a press, whether it's hard style or kettlebell sport. Both do it. Both styles do it. It's just how they do it, right? Sid Bullet, my kettlebell has literally just been delivered. Ooh, that's cool. Enjoy it. Rolf says, keep talking. Man, I've been talking it's over 2 hours now, guys. Angie's waiting at home. I got to quit it, guys. I looked for that video. 6,000 words a day are nothing for Gregory. No! And that's easy stuff. That's easy stuff, Stefan. Adding weight to a skill doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work like a hyperbaric time chamber. Yep. That's what's up. 100%. Alexia, I can tell the kettlebells help with punches, but you need the techniques first, and it helps with explosive movements. Retracting the arm after punching, especially with a jab across. Teaching the police kettlebells, way to help out the community. Michael, that was the reason why I did it. One of the reasons why I decided for this. I said, man, I want to give back to the community. I want to give back to society. I want to give back for the beautiful country that we live in, and for the people who decided to make it a profession to protect these rights that we have. That's one of the thoughts why I did it, Michael. Yeah. Hey, and great, Alexia, that you have the transferability that you mentioned. Awesome. And no technique means it's bad punching, means it's injury. But and the question remains, Alexia, it's probably punching technique. So if you get better with the punching, maybe you're able to develop more force because you work with the kettlebell. That could be understandable. But are you able to trigger the fibers faster than before? That's the question. And that's what they do, I think, in the NBA is they test the vertical leap. And these guys are showing up with vertical leaps that's like crazy. They jump up like rockets. And I think they say it's genetically. Yeah, that's one study that says it. It's 50% is genetics. So Olivier, I've seen a lot of videos explaining snatch technique, but I can't seem to get the drop right. Olivier, it's all about working. When you have the information, then it's all about inspiration. Working through the technique. And believe me, in my opinion, it takes an eternity to learn a good voice snatch. And Alexia, and as far as jiu-jitsu, it helps with certain movements. Yes, that's great. And see, guys, don't misunderstand me. Kettlebells, I believe, are transferable to the sport specific or to sports, yet not in the sport specific, I believe. I don't believe you are a better jiu-jitsu athlete because you're doing kettlebells. You get a better jiu-jitsu athlete because you work with the technique with your instructor. And when you do kettlebells, they give you maybe the power and the strength to do longer, to be more effective, more efficient with your energy, and stay sane and maybe help you with the mental stuff. Captain Howdy, Alexia, who did you hit? Great question. Dean, definitely develops good stability and endurance, plus using the whole body as a unit for power. That's what's up. And my husband and the rest of the club. I've been in the ring 4 times. Ooh, that's crazy. And Jakub's hype too. Jose, it's been another 4. You guys are crazy. That's why we love you, man. Olivier, my improvement was when I sold out, when I set the loud cue, drop to the floor, grip swing, and look at Xenia. That's cool. It's actually a great idea. Calling out the phases. Once you got the phases down pat, and please, Olivier, when you check out the video, check out the snatch video. It's actually very important for you to notice this is the way we teach it. I intentionally put in some stuff that you probably won't find anywhere else. And maybe some kettlebell sport coaches look at it and say that's stupid. But the way I taught it now to our clients has some great benefits. And that's the reason why I put some phases in there. And practice with an 8 kilo and support with the spear hand. Great stuff. What's people's thoughts on Titan fitness competition kettlebell? There's so many brands out there. I think you're safe with, with the Wolferson, you're very safe. You're very safe with Kettlebell Kings. And I have to say, our original Russian kettlebells, you're safe to a certain degree. We recently I think they got problems with the 12 kilos. Some 12 kilos are broken inside. And we've got another 24 just fresh from the batch. We waited 6 months for the delivery. We got it, and it's also broken inside. So I had to file a complaint to the supplier, which they totally understand, and they're going to replace it. That's awesome. It's a cool supplier. There's no discussion. Hey, man, we'll replace it. That's it. And you can keep the broken bell. And I've been working with those kettlebells that sound broken inside, and some people say that it's maybe off. It's off with the weight, and I don't feel it, but maybe an athlete feels it. Kelly says, I'm hoping to get a competition kettlebell someday. Really wanted to start off with that, but wanted the variety on a budget because I wanted to stick with it. And that's totally fine, Kelly. Wasn't sure what would work best for me. And hey, if you got a kettlebell at home and you maybe opted in for not the optimal version, at least you can work out. And that's cool. I've been trying the curl fingers like you use, Gregory. Definitely seems to help with the downward catch. Yep, try it with the back grip. That's great. Captain How to Kelly, go to a store that sells them and try one out. Yep. And nutrition is so important. And you're saying not diet. Ooh, Alexa, that's great. It's about nutrition, not diet. Even though diet means lifestyle in the Greek sense of it. The stores I've been to have been sold out for only or only have 1 or 2 weights in stock. I'll check around though. That's a good idea. Well, crazy, Kelly, is they're sold out everywhere. The popularity of kettlebells has risen to an extreme level, and I think that's cool. Rolf from Norway. Yeah, I got it. And Angie, your English gets better every session. Keep rocking and chatting. Danny's saying, hey, Gregory, I follow you guys religiously, and I'm getting good results from your training sessions alongside a calorie deficit. That's great. That's great, Danny. I think, we had the conversation, right? We had the conversation. Losing body fat and slowly and safely. How much other training do you partake in apart from kettlebells? Right now, Danny, none. I'm strictly following the kettlebell routines. I used to do pull-ups. I love pull-ups and I love push-ups. I think pull-ups and push-ups are a great addition, especially the pull-up, because when it comes to the kettlebell, maybe the row, but not even the row. There's not an exercise with the kettlebell where you pull something with your hands straight up. It's just dropping. The only thing that you do is you pull the kettlebell from the down up. Dan John has a great addition to this. And I can't put it in words right now, but the pull-up is something that adds very great or very good to any exercise regimen. And the push-up as well. The push-up is one of the oldest exercises that works also very well. So apart from maybe doing some pull-ups and push-ups, even though now and in the last month I didn't do any, and I didn't see, and my back feels it feels tense right now because I was working with that heavy weight yesterday, because snatches will work your back like crazy. But I think pull-ups and push-ups is maybe a great addition, but you don't have to. Rolf, are you going to search for a more Russian style in the future? Can you clarify on this? Danny, I've got a barbell and dumbbells and I feel like I'm cheating on them recently by avoiding them for a kettlebell. You don't have to feel that way, Danny. If you can, you know what we do with our clients is we do most of the work, 80% of the work is with kettlebells, and some work is done with barbells and dumbbells, because barbells and dumbbells work a little differently. Because when you grip it like that, you always got your forearms working. You can do some, the work feels different. Probably your muscles will get a different stimulus, and that can be very beneficial. Mix it up a little bit. Or you can stick with kettlebells. But I think combining kettlebells, dumbbells, and barbells, that's actually what we do. Or even combining it with some strongman stuff, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Will you, or do you have an audio-only podcast on Spotify, iTunes, SoundCloud? No. The only podcast that we're having right now is on YouTube, but I'm considering it. And what are your thoughts on the Simple and Sinister program by Strong First? I don't know the ins and outs of the Simple and Sinister, but from what it says, I gotta look into it. So many people mentioned it to me. But I think where it comes from is it is simple. I believe in simple. I believe simple is effective because anything that confuses you can hamper your progress, not only with your technique, but also with when you're trying to get in shape or lose weight. But I got to dig into it. Hey, I'm from Scotland. Just bought a 16 kilo. Is Simple and Sinister the best thing to do? Start out. I have some experience training with barbells. And you follow our live workouts. I think, man, here you go again with the Simple and Sinister. Try to follow our live workouts and see if it works out for you. And I'm going to have to do a review on the Simple and Sinister stuff. Danny says, I initially went with a strong Simple and Sinister program, but I truly saw great result with the Lebe stock training videos. Simple and Sinister will improve strength, but in my humble opinion, these guys were better all-rounders. Gotta check it out. I progressed with the 32 on the Simple program, and unfortunately, I got injured early when I switched to the 32. I think my lack of a warm-up routine was probably the cause, but I stopped. After the heavier hardstyle swings, caused a small tear in my abdominal wall. What? Really? It caused a small tear in your abdominal wall. I've switched to the Lebe stock routine, and so far everything's better. Less injuries or small problems following these guys online. I found just doing the 2 exercise wasn't best for me personally. That's a very interesting story. And it says, cheers, Danny, DLKS10. Elliot, I feel good after doing the Simple and Sinister with assisting, but I'm not sure as enough compared to 3 times full body in gym lifting, or 3 times full body. Now, guys, try to follow our routines. Try to follow our routine 3 times per week. It's Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and see how that works out for you. I believe, even compared with a full body routine in the gym, I think it's superior. Because of all the benefits that the kettlebell is giving you. Now, progressing to a 32 kilogram kettlebell pretty soon. Listen, I've been working out with kettlebells intensively. I've been working with them for 3 years now, but very intensively in the Russian style for 1.5 years. And I've recently, over the last 5-6 months or so, I started with the 32. The 32 is, the heavyweight is dangerous. It's not dangerous, but it's complicated, and there's a high injury risk if you're not safe with the technique, guys. You gotta have it down pat. Man, I'm getting hungry now. I gotta stop. But there's an end in sight. Olivier is from Mexico. And Dean, sorry, Alexia, I missed that one. Yeah, gyms and classes included. Wow. I think it's pretty expensive. Kelly, cheers all. I have to go back to work. Thank you, Gregory. You're welcome, brother. Or sister. Danny, DLKS10, I realized that the Simple and Sinister was just about strength, hence the company name Strong First. I think you need more than strength when it comes to kettlebells. I just enjoy the versatility of kettlebells. Yeah, the versatility, that's what it got, the 6 benefits that we always talk about. And these 6 benefits that we always talk about, we include them in every workout. We just love them. Dean, I can barely move in here for the kettlebells now. My mom thought they were colored ornaments. That's great, Dean. Stefan says, I have my kettlebells from Barry. He's a cool dude. Oh, cool. Competition Hollow Core. From Barry from the Netherlands. You actually know him? Cool. He's a cool dude. Competition Hollow Core. Not cheap, not too expensive, but it's a lifetime investment and worth it. Gregory, you don't need to hurry up. Angie probably fell asleep on the couch by now. Probably yes. And I'm spitting like a pig. with Gypsy. Yeah, guys, it's time to go put our girl to bed. See you tomorrow. You guys have some of the best stuff, Denis says. Thanks for your answer with my earlier questions. I can see the IKFF influences. I love it all. That's great. Thank you so much, guys, for joining. Please consider joining the Kettlebell Club. You find the link in the description. If this stream, if it was worth your time and worth your money, Maybelline, the makeup company, maybe you can decide to donate. Maybe that's one thing. You find the link in the description as well. Donate through the super chat if you think it's worth your money. Or, like we said, join the Kettlebell Club and join this awesome crew that we have right here. And just to reiterate it, just that you see what you're getting. You get the benefits when you join the club, the Kettlebell Club. You can use these emojis, custom emojis. You get the small LS logo right next to your name. You see it in the chat, or the guys in the chat that are commenting. And you are eligible to comment on our live workouts, because live workouts, the live chat is members only. Plus, guys, we've just added this. You can join our private Facebook group, about 35 members, where you can really have a conversation with like-minded folks who love the kettlebell like you love it, like we love it. And you get these are the perks that you're getting for only $5.95 per month. Okay, 5.95 Swiss francs. That's about, I think, $6.50, about €5 per month. If you think it was worth your time, please subscribe, like the video, and join the Kettlebell Club. We'll catch you on the next one. Thank you very much for joining. Peace out. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the stream, leave a like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to see more kettlebell content and more live workouts. If you want to financially support our YouTube channel, you can join the Kettlebell Club. There's a join button right below this video. It'll cost you only $5.95 and you will be mentioned in our live streams. And you will get a small LS logo right next to your name whenever you comment something. So that way people will know that you belong to the tribe. If you want to take it a step even further and you want to work out from home without any ad breaks, you can check out our 30 days of kettlebells workout course. I'm clicking on my 30 days of kettlebells course. On your left hand corner, you have all the chapters and the lessons. All these workouts are divided into chapters and into lessons. Right here it says, welcome to 30 days of kettlebells. We have some important information, blah, blah. So then when you're ready, you can click on continue and boom, you're switching into your first workout and it already starts. So here you got your first workout. As you can see, when we scroll down, you can see here is the description for the workout. No ads, no ad break. Okay, it's just the workout and you see the exercises, you see what you have to do. 30 Days of Kettlebells is an intense workout program that builds you up as a beginner without prior knowledge. That's what we specialize in. From now on, you will receive one of the following tasks each day for the next 30 days. You have a workout. So if a card pops up that says workout, here you will be tasked to work out. Simple. If a card pops up that says rest on your day 2 you saw previously, we believe that regeneration is also as important as working out. On these days, you can rest. Then we move on, you have cards that pop up that say rest and study. Here you can rest and you can study a specific topic that we'll cover in this lesson. And finally, you have some cards that pop up that say rest or workout. What that means is you can either work out if you feel like it, or you can take a break. It's only $49.99, so if you want to support us, if you want to support the channel, if you want to support our kettlebell courses, and if you want to enjoy something ad-free and learn something new and get a deeper understanding of the kettlebell and get a deep connection to us, then feel free to buy this course and have fun.